So, hi everyone, and thanks for joining me in this interesting chat with today with Claire Kelly over the past couple of weeks. And as we've been going through this COVID-19 pandemic, it's one of a lifetime kind of experiences. With the lengthy lockdown, I was extremely thrilled to share with you my reflections and thoughts through the We Are Diamonds series, as you probably remember. Now, it's always good to listen to inspiring messages and thoughts, but again, I think what's even more powerful is when those messages get some flesh and bones to them, when we listen to real experiences, to personal stories, and hence what was the idea of stories of We Are Diamonds. So today, I'm really happy to be joined by Claire Kelly, who kindly accepted to share her experience with COVID-19 times. I met Claire for the first time last summer at an inspirational event in Moncton, and I learned about how active she has been in the community. She was the Green Party's candidate in the federal elections for the Moncton, Dieppe, and Riverview, and she's currently the International Immigration Advisor at the New Brunswick Community College in Moncton. So good afternoon, Claire, and how are you doing today?
Hi, Reem. I'm great, thank you. Yeah, I've just come back from a beautiful time outside. I went down to Bouctouche to walk along the dunes, which was so nice to get outside in the sunshine near the ocean. It felt really good because I've been inside a lot recently. So.
All of us, I guess, yeah, we've all been into this social distancing and how stressful it used to be. And I remember, Claire, when this lockdown started, how you had very eloquently kind of shared your feelings and thoughts on social media about how stressful this time has been to you. So can you share with us a little bit, how has this COVID-19 crisis impacted your daily life in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed everything. Every day, I actually do jump on to my computer with this headset because, as you mentioned, I'm the International Immigration Advisor for NBCC. And while I'm normally on the Moncton campus with the most international students, about 500 students there, I also serve all of the other campuses. So all 6 campuses, I have to still communicate with all of them. So I instead of face-to-face meetings or instead of face-to-face presentations like I would normally be having on each campus, I jump on my computer every day and check a lot of emails, and then I end up jumping on some video chats to talk to them. So yeah, my daily life that's definitely been the number one thing that's changed. And because I live alone, it means that instead of seeing hundreds of students every day, I'm still seeing them, online and on computers, but I'm not seeing anyone, in person.
Yeah.
So that's been a real challenge. That's definitely been the biggest change. And I'm a people person, so that's been it's been a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Extrovert people definitely had lots of challenges during these times. I fully understand. So, and how did all of that make you feel? Like, what if you want to pick like the strongest kind of emotion or feeling you would get out of this experience? What would that emotion be?
Yeah, so this has been a hard one to choose because I've definitely felt every emotion. It's been like, I would describe this. Yeah, the past 2 months has been a roller coaster. I think I have felt every single emotion possible. Definitely, feelings of loneliness and sadness and happiness, like joy as well as anger, everything. But for me, kind of a consistent has been frustration. And for me specifically, because I work with international students every day, and I am hearing how they're feeling and how alone they're feeling and how scared they're feeling because they're stuck here in Canada without, far from their countries, not in a culture or language or all the comforts that we would normally have in your own country, and it's been a struggle to ensure that this vulnerable population of people is taken care of during this very stressful time for everyone, but even more stressful when you're in a foreign country. So we've had successes over the 2 months. Like I've been frustrated, and then we've had wins. Like so it's that frustration has certainly fueled my drive to ensure that they're taken care of. But it's been a lot of energy of being like frustrated, but it's draining. Yeah, and especially when everything else is so draining. But as I said, that frustration has kept me focused during this. So I don't want to say it was all negative. Like, it was something that kept my mind on something to push me forward to.
Sometimes actually struggle, like, and crisis in general, they really push us outside the box. Like, they push us out of the comfort zone. So become creative about how we can help and how we can improve things. So that's definitely very important. And with all of those roller coaster of emotions and ups and downs, how have you coped with the crisis? Like, what were the best or most effective tools and strategies that helped you cope?
Yeah, for me, I have found during this that there have been 3 essential things that I had to. So I think a lot of people have probably said this, is that routine is really important. But of course, our routine looks different. So so being generous and being kind to yourself with that routine, like every day may not be as good as you think, but for me, the 3 essential things I've had to do every single day was at least 15 to 20 minutes of exercise, okay, to physically move my body, because we're not walking even around a building anymore. Like, you're working within your apartment. So keeping yourself active every single day, going outside, even if it's just to my front porch. Usually I go on, like, just around my block or to the park. So getting fresh air, and chatting by video with either a friend or family member. So those 3 things have those are like 3 essentials that I've had to do, and I have done for the past 65 days or whatever. Like, that's kept me, that's how I've coped.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And everyone definitely have their different realities, and they have their different ways of coping. But definitely exercise has always been something that I guess many people realized how important it has been during this time.
It gets your endorphins flowing.
And it reflects on your mental health eventually, not only physically. So, but like, despite all of the stress and the negative feelings that we've experienced during this time, I still felt personally that there were very special moments and times, like for me and for the family. So for you, I wonder, like, what were your your best and your worst moments during this crisis?
Yeah, for me, the worst, I'll start with that, get that out of the way, is, to be perfectly honest, like, I had some really low days, like, where just, crying all morning, or, just in such a low space, like, just really sad. And sometimes you don't even know particularly why you're sad, other than just, this has been an exhausting experience. So I've definitely had really low points in time. So, like, that's been the worst, right? But the best has certainly been, as you said, how creative people have been through this, how we've been able to find joy and connect, like connecting with family a lot more than I ever have, friends that I might not have reached out to, and just everyone trying to keep in touch as much as possible, and just like genuinely checking in with each other, I think has been the best thing. I got to celebrate my birthday during this, which people are like, oh, what a weird yeah, your birthday is such a weird experience during this. I know a
Yes.
lot of people have had them, and you know, having those Zoom parties, like my family, we've played charades and trivia. We've had 3 birthdays so far in
Oh,
my
nice.
family, and for each one, like for mine, we had a dress up theme, so like we
Oh,
we each
that's cute.
dressed up in something. So yeah, being creative with that has brought me joy. Like my brother ordered me uh, Malaysian food from here.
Oh, nice.
Sintaria is one of my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
places.
yeah.
He ordered it from Vancouver. He ordered it
Oh, wow.
for me, which was really nice. And 2 days ago, it was my sister's birthday. I ordered her dessert from a place in New York because she lives in New York.
Oh,
So
no, that's
just, you
nice.
know, as I said, people getting more creative and thinking more thoughtfully
Yeah,
has certainly
yeah.
been one of the best things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. And well, like normally in a pandemic, definitely it's not something that we experience regularly. So there are no guidelines or like previous tips about what we should do or should not do.
Mhm.
So what was there anything that, or like maybe one thing you wish you could have done differently in the way you handled the crisis?
Um, to be perfectly honest, I don't think there is. Like I'm one of, I don't know if I felt a bit more stressed going into this, but also a bit more prepared because as I think you read on my Facebook, I lived through a crisis in a foreign country. Like I lived in Japan during the 2011 earthquake and
Mhm.
tsunami, and so that did it kind of gave me a bit of a heads up to be more prepared.
Mm,
What did I learn from that going into this? So a week before everything closed down, I was one of those people that went out and got groceries for about a month, and I like stocked up on all of these things. And as I said, I knew that this would be a difficult time, so I looked out for those tips and like the routine
mhm,
that I could do to get myself through this.
mhm,
So I don't think I would have done anything differently, except it's very like practical, weird, first world problem type thing. I was definitely missing my computer screen from the NBCC campus. And so I was working off a laptop for a month. And finally, at the beginning of the second month, I was able to go onto campus and get my keyboard and mouse and screen. That's why I'm looking at that screen because
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
it's made the whole world of difference. Like my
Yeah,
productivity is so much better in this
yeah,
second month
yeah,
than it was in the first month.
yeah.
So if I could go back in time and get my monitor like faster,
Some people actually told me that they really miss their chairs from
right?
the
Oh yeah,
offices.
totally. This
So
this old school chair is not as good as my one at campus.
exactly, yeah.
It's true, true.
So so now if you take a pause now and think about like Claire before
Mm.
COVID-19 times and Claire now, how would you compare the two?
Yeah, I do think that, and this is one of the other best things that this time has really forced me to slow down and have more time to reflect. I've been someone who's always on the go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always going, 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 because I like to be out, with people. I like to be doing things, and this has caused a full stop of all that. And so my pre-COVID self was busy, 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 go, go, go. And um and my post-COVID, I don't think anyone, or at least myself, I don't think anyone will be going back to that lifestyle immediately, and I think that's okay. I think that having this pause, this time for us to slow down,
Mm-hmm.
is a good thing,
Yes.
and so I'm really grateful for that. That my post-COVID self is maybe just a bit slower,
In
like
pace.
in a good way. Like it
Yeah, yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah. So, so my post-COVID self, my pre-COVID self was go, go, go. My post-COVID self is slow, reflect, and
Time for me,
time.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. For me and for the important people in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. And like if there's like something you'd like to share like as a lesson or a message, something that will stay with you, and we would like everyone to know about, what would be that lesson or message?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have seen the best of people during this time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, as I said, people have been reaching out to others more than they ever have in a very genuine way. I think that people are actually taking that time to reflect on what's important. People are taking the time to reflect on mental health, how
Mm-hmm.
important that is. So my message to everyone is that we should remember this at all times. Like I hope that that carries through to the post-COVID world, that we are able to remember what's important and are able to remember to reach out even when things start to get a bit busier and back to normal, that these things were so important. So
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, that's great. And finally, like if you want to summarize your journey with COVID-19 with like one word or phrase, like what would be the title of your experience with COVID-19?
For me, it would be the great slowdown. Like this
Like,
is this has
yeah,
been the
yeah,
great
yeah,
slowdown.
slow
So
down.
yeah.
That's great. No, that thank you. Thanks, Claire, for all of these insightful messages and lessons. It's interesting to see how a lot of lessons are actually common. Like I speak to many people sometimes, and we tend to all agree that we needed this kind of
Mhm.
an awakening
Yeah,
through the COVID,
agreed.
to slow down and to think. And it's amazing how, although we have different perspectives and vintage points and contexts, uh, what we do share
Hmm.
something as a result of this crisis. And so thanks again for
Yeah,
sharing your journey with
my
us and
pleasure.
for being so open and generous about your experience. And I wish you and your loved ones safety